Dear viewers, welcome to yet another interesting episode of BW Legal World Dialogues. I'm Ashima Ohri, and we are in conversation with Mr. Krishnava Dutt, founder and managing partner of Argus Partners, an Indian law firm recognized, awarded, and highly ranked for its M&A and disputes and restructuring and insolvency practices by reputed global publications. A very warm welcome to the show, Mr. Dutt.
Thank you, Ashima. Thank you for having me over.
Great to see you, Mr. Dutt. So Argus Partners was recently recognized as Asia's top 30 fastest growing firms of 2021 by a renowned publication. Two of your partners were awarded the BW Legal World 40 Under 40 Best Lawyers and Legal Influencers Awards. Congratulations on that.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Now let's turn back the dial. The firm was established close on the heels of the Great Recession in 2009. How has this journey been, and what are some of the lessons learned at that point that are proving useful as we reel out of the pandemic now?
So in a sense, yes, when 2008, the financial crisis happened, we formed the firm in 2009, where there was mixed advice I got. Some people said that, this is the worst time to go. But actually, in the hindsight, it's been probably the best time because you can't get lower. You start small, but we've actually had a good start. We were very, very small. It was just 2 or 3 people, so it really didn't impact us. But over the years and gradually, we've actually scaled up. And we've actually had a fantastic last 12-year journey. It's been a wonderful journey, and the journey continues. We're not even anywhere. I mean, there's no destination here. It's just the journey continues as we keep on going forward, going onward. And it's been fantastic so far. So as a 12-year law firm, being the fastest growing, I'm thankful for that recognition. We don't want to run so fast that we, probably skip or trip over something. We are very conscious that we want to grow solidly, we want to grow surely, we want to grow steadily. And that's been always our motto.
Right, Mr. Dutt. So, the firm also prides itself on innovative thought leadership. I know a few things that I'd like to know more about. These are the women-friendly firm policies, the happiness index motivated work culture, and an overall forward-looking new age firm model with legal tech and management information systems in place. I'm sure my viewers are as intrigued as I am. Could we please know a little more?
So you said, I think all of this centers around one. As a firm, when we started in 2009, one thing which was, I was always sure that the central part of this firm will always be the people. And the most important part, nothing. I mean, no revenues, no profits, no name, no branding can be more important than the people. And that's the way we've actually been doing, going about our business. So even in 2015, I don't know how nowadays, after Wendy Rhodes of Billions, which made coaching very popular. So we've actually in 2015 had got a coach to coach all the partners and to actually have individual coaching sessions with the partners. In 2020 June or May or June, when just after the pandemic, we were one of the first few to actually have a wellness program for the firm, even just about when the pandemic started, and then we realized that people will be stuck at home. We appointed, someone to have access. They were scheduled across the firm. Anyone could have wellness discussions, mental wellness, of course, mental well-being discussions with the professional advisor. We're also having been discussing something called a happiness index. And, we are actually, when we have our MISs and our budgets, we've actually going forward from next quarter, the KPI, the main KPI of the firm will first be the happiness index. So we are saying that there is an organization, a firm called Leverage, who's helping us in actually constructing the entire happiness index, the manner in which we evaluate, not once, but at least twice a year, of lawyers, retailers, employees at all levels, and actually can slice and dice the data into happiness index. And that's going to be the foremost KPI of the firm, even above profits and revenue. So we've decided that's going to be the first and the foremost index. So that's one. And you mentioned about women's safety and women. So, Ashima, one of the things which I personally have always believed, that there is this incredible, extraordinary talent which somehow, goes away. And I've been perplexed right from the beginning that, whilst we see a super majority of lawyers coming in, or a majority of lawyers coming in are women, somehow when they grow senior and go to partner level, that ratio gets skewed. And that ratio gets skewed, of course, it's not rocket science. Women get, been married, they go to another city. Children are the two major factors which have, make the women choose a different path. So we've actually been, reaching out to headhunters and saying that is the talent we want to bring back. And we have actually. So there were two who joined in Bangalore, Manisha, who is in the Bangalore office, disputes partner, and Suchita, of course, so both of them had their kids, had a career, extraordinarily intelligent women, and they've actually, come back on that. So Bangalore, we actually created a room which was a creche. And this was so that we painted with very nice florals and kitty with toys and a bed for the kids, because both of them had kids, and because Bombay didn't, and didn't have someone who had. But now recently we've had a partner, but that was pre-COVID. Post-COVID, we're saying that, listen, the world has changed. So you can keep on being with your kid and working for wherever you are for as long as you want to. So there is, the 6-month maternity leave probably can extend to, a couple of years till you feel that you're a child, and you can come to office once in a while and entirely flexible on that. The other part is also, what we're also conscious about it is the women's safety, which you mentioned also. Yes, so we had this policy pre-COVID, and we just about started in office, and we are again putting the policy back in place, that any woman who leaves office after 9 o'clock, the security guard has to go and drop the lady to the cab or the car. If it's a cab, take down the number of the cab, and if possible, take a picture of the driver. And within an estimated time, they come back and call the person whether reached home. If they've not reached home and doesn't get a response, scales it up to the HR, and then there are scale-up provisions for that. So we are so strict that and there is a register that the security is supposed to maintain that, yes, he's done that. And, we're so strict about that. There was one security who just forgot to put in the time entry. We actually changed the security, not for anything else, just to put across the message that we're very serious about that, and we don't want any form of, a blasé attitude towards that. The vision of our firm is to be the most trusted advisor for all our clients. And then it says to be the most preferred law firm for all stakeholders. So not just the clients, we would want to be the preferred law firm for our vendors, for everyone who interacts with the firm. We want to create an environment where everyone feels comfortable and to provide the highest quality of legal advice by upholding the 3 core values of integrity, quality, and respect. And we actually keep on all our processes. So we're a very process-driven firm, and we've been trying to do that. And one of the reasons we've grown is we believe in processes, trying to reduce ad hocism as we grow, and trying to bring in processes not only in the legal service delivery, but also in the functions of admin, IT, corporate communications, HR, all of them, getting in the processes. And you said that the fastest growing firm, 11, it has happened. One is the people, and the whole conscious effort of focusing on the people that we have at all levels. So we've, as lawyers, why when we're interacting with clients, so we actually, you will find that our lawyers do have a lot of knowledge on finance, on reading the balance sheet, reading the P&L, especially the transaction lawyers, where there's requirements. So there is a very strong knowledge management team. There's a constant, development in that area. We are creating something called the Argus Standard of Excellence. We are having a partners meeting, and we're actually putting down where I said that the happiness index, and there's something which has to be that all lawyers must have a minimum maintenance of that. And one of the reasons is that, we don't want to be a firm where one team is good and one team is not good. We want to create a brand, and that's exactly the reason where in the last 11 or 12 years we've come this far. It's been making a conscious effort to ensure that the quality level, both in terms of advice, in terms of delivery, in terms of timelines, so as we call it, knowledge, the entire environment of knowledge. So continuous training programs for the lawyers, continuous training programs for the partners at not only legal skills, not personal skills, ethics, finance. So that's a lot of our focus and effort goes to that in terms of the quality of lawyers we do, and that's hopefully has shown us benefits right from our recruitment process to our training process. What we do.
That's right, Mr. Dutt. You set quite a tone at the top, and if I'm not wrong, this actually trickles down right down to the interns who, two things that I really have heard about and like to know more about is that the interns are also paid a good stipend, and then you have sort of a revolving door policy where even people who exit from the firm are very welcome once they want to rejoin. Like you mentioned, women are also welcome for their second innings. These are some really important and a true example of thought leadership, that you have set at the firm. Could you tell us more about what really leads to these ideas, and what is your idea of a law firm of the future in a hybrid legal system?
So let me take the questions. You said interns, a revolving door and the future. I'll say that all. So internships is obviously important for us because we want to. We've had a challenging time during the COVID time because they were online and we did not know how to, there were, of course, times when interns were in different cities and they're online, which the whole world was trying to catch up with this whole online concept of working online. So we've actually had a internship process, and there was a committee formed where the entire process of internships, how we evaluate and appoint interns. Yes, every single intern across the firm does get a stipend. It's not significant, but it does they do get a stipend, just not for anything else, just to, thank you to them. And at the end of every internship, they're supposed to make a presentation to whoever is there, every single intern. And that has been followed because they are the future, because we would like to identify, because when you go for recruitments, you don't end up going to too many law schools, but in internships you probably get to see someone who is very good in not one of the law schools that you go to, and then we've actually had people come on that. That's number one. The second part on the revolving door policy, of course, we've had people who left, joined us back, joined us back. So we've at some level, all that matters is are you a good human being and are you a good lawyer, in that order, and if that box is ticked, nothing else matters, So I would believe that why would anyone want to, if there's a good resource who wants to come back, for what reason would we say as a firm? Any of our partners would say, no, we don't want to do it. So that's always been there, and we would all want to. In terms of the future, however cliched it sounds, technology has completely disrupted the way that we worked. Okay, technology in all spheres. So I would put that in two parts. One is in law firm delivery, the technology has really picked up. So in terms of we don't need to come to office. Transactions now, you can be in Timbuktu and do transactions. You can be litigation team would have it slightly more difficult, and that's the same thing about women and child. So the example I was giving of trial by one of partners is easier because she's a transaction lawyer. If she was a litigating lawyer, we would have to figure out how beyond the 6 months to manage. But in terms of transaction practice, one is, of course, the entire VC. We've the old form of video conferencing, I think, is completely obsolete. Within 3 months of pandemic, what happened? Those old video conferencing, we used to dial in at PPP and then used to get it, and the camera that's gone. We have the system, and that's not even there. I don't even think anyone will go back to that. In terms of few things has happened is access to information is easier. You have lots more technical or technological applications to use for paperless offices. So you have now, everyone has iPads and large leading, they actually have applications for that. So technology completely disrupts. So even it all works, not only in your legal delivery, even in your development, your relationships. Earlier you had, of course, it's important that you need to go and meet. But what would happen earlier, that if I had to speak or meet someone in London or New York or Hong Kong or Singapore, I had to be physically present. What is happening now that we are not substituting that. I'm not even one saying that impact gets substituted. But I also meet the person several times before I meet him on Zoom or on Teams, which would never happen before. So if I would be meeting someone, let's say once a year or twice a year in another jurisdiction, today I may be physically, not now, maybe in the near future, still meet physically once a year or twice a year, but meet the person far more often. There are applications on service delivery. There are various applications which has come in for documentation, formatting, proofreading. It's still initial stages, but yes, that's completely disrupted. What is a challenge is that our regulatory framework may not have caught up. So we still have, and with all respect, even the judiciary. So that is a big gap in India still, and I keep on saying that the judiciary, if you look at just the number of pending cases, we've still not. Delhi High Court probably was one of the best in terms of digital, to the extent we can. We've really not had a digital disruption in the judiciary. So we still don't have a smooth, continuous like normal, whether it's filing, whether it's pleadings, whether it's argument online. So we don't have that. And even from a regulatory perspective, there are still, of course, not only the foreign firms, but the construct, can a law firm be an LLP? Can it be? Is there is still ifs and buts there? Can it raise funds? Because the world has changed. So whilst the law firm, there are actually two worlds here. Whilst the law firms are going one way, whole hog with technology and disruptions and getting the best of the people. On the other hand, you have the judiciary probably, and it's not us. I mean, judicial reforms have been in discussion for the longest time. And I'm not talking about just judicial reforms. I'm talking about digital disruption in judiciary. That's just not happened. I mean, just one of Zoom or two of Zoom or NCLT Zoom, it's just not been able to cut in as much as we would have thought it would. And if that comes up along with the judicial reforms, then India is going to be a powerhouse. I've always said that one thing which is actually keeping us back to be really is the enforcement of contracts. As a matter of fact, even in the doing business, the enforcement of contract was a concern. So if we actually use technology, if we actually mentally say that judiciary is also a service, judiciary is also for a common man to provide expeditious, fast justice. And if that aligns, I think, it's going to go. We are hopeful on that.
Yes, absolutely. Some infrastructural and regulatory reforms can certainly go to improving even our business index, as you mentioned.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Mr. Dutt, for sharing all that with us. And moving away from talks of law and office, how does a day in your shoes look like outside of office when you're not working?
So, a politically very incorrect statement in today's world where we say, but my wife constantly said that you never stop thinking about work. But having said that, I have, honestly, first 2 years was not. So on a personal level, I don't have time for other professional social activities. So I have not joined any, alumni. I'm not very active in any of the social, because beyond my firm life, my other life, if I have, I would rather spend with family and friends. Okay. So that's what I do. We like, of course, when we can play. So we tried in office, we tried to start. I was quite excited. We started this cricket, and I hope now that people are here, we can start our Sunday cricket again. We do a lot of music. I personally, so we have friends who come over. I've got a piano at home, and so we play and sing, and we. So that's it. So we spend a lot of time with family. We go cycling. So when some of us go cycling a lot in the morning. We come down all the way to NCPA and then back and on Marine Drive. So we do the cycling there, or World AC also. So yeah, those are something, and spend time with the kids, and they're growing up. Well, they're my children, not children. So 4 of us spend a lot of time with close friends, and that's how we do watch movies. I've not been able to see too many Netflix yet. I have, but compared to all my friends, I'm still way behind most of the shows. But when if I can, I'll try to catch up.
How wonderful, Mr. Dutt. Thank you.
Because most of the time is, there are about, so I read simultaneously. So I have about 5-6 books. So I don't read one book. So I read, invariably my bedside table will have 4 or 5 books, and I read every day, maybe 1 or 2 chapters, of each book.
Thank you so much for joining us today with that wonderful insights on so many things. Your last word to all our viewers and the new age lawyers who are just starting their practices.
So one is that whilst we say, and Generation X, Y, I don't even know, I get lost. It is millennials, Gen X, Gen Y, Gen Z, I don't know whichever. Yeah. At some level, human beings are all the same. So I discussed this with my colleagues. When 25 years ago, or more than 2 decades ago, did we not have people going from one job to the other? Yes, we did. I'm talking about the professionals. I'm talking lawyers, MBAs, chartered accountants at that level. And so the only thing which is important is, yes, we're all working to earn. No one's working for love, pressure. We all work. But whatever you do, it's very difficult. There's a song by which is called Sunscreen. I'll give you the name if I can. Sunscreen. Where Bas Luhrmann or something, which is an old song, where it says most of the people I know at the age of 40 don't know what they don't want to do with their lives. So it's okay sometimes, but it is important that you find your passion. I see a lot of people who actually get to, so if you find your passion, and I don't want to sermonize this, it sounds very good with me in an interview giving this whole sermon, but it's very important that money is of course important. There's no denying that. But when you've got that money, when you go, the focus is you must love what you do and do what you love. And just if you do that, there will be times when you will say that, you will go away and try to go away from your focus, but just be stick on it. And one thing which I've said in all my interviews, my favorite, proverb is that in today's social media world, especially the youngsters, the biggest source of unhappiness is overestimating the happiness of others. That is the biggest source of unhappiness. And if you realize that, just stick to yourself, stick to your plan, focus, take one step at a time, you'll reach. We started with a 300 square foot office in 2009. In 2009, I was not saying that we'll have 5 offices. But I was not looking at 2021. I was looking at 2009 September, 2009 October, 2009 December, and saying, stick to it. Yes, I know that I have some plan at the end. I have a vision, but next step, next step, next step. Before you know it, we have today from that journey, we have 5 offices with 130 people, or we'll probably have more than 100 lawyers in by January. So from 2 people, we've actually come to around 130 or 140, whatever the total number of people, plus almost 100 lawyers. So it's just of sticking to it and knowing that, okay, I'm here and just maybe let me keep on my track. But yes, I was lucky because I love what I do. I did it right.
What a message, Mr. Dutt. Thank you so much for those beautiful words. And it's been so wonderful meeting you here today. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you, Ashima. Thank you. Thanks so much.